Hello everyone, my name is Mike and this is Matrix to Paradise. This is the channel that I created to document my journey from working in the Matrix, making a company rich, or other people rich, and documenting my journey from escaping the Matrix, to going to my paradise, which is going to be slow travel around the world. And that's what I'll be talking about on this channel. So if you like any of those topics, trucking or travel or escaping the Matrix or slow travel, any of that stuff, this is the channel for you. I'll be talking about that. And a lot more of it will be the travel part when I actually leave the Matrix. But anyway, so here I am in Phoenix, Arizona, still at the Crete terminal. Hanging out. My car is broken, so I can't really go and do a whole lot. The battery is dead, so I have to go get it fixed, get the battery replaced, and I can't really run around town and do what I need to do until I get that done tomorrow. So today I just I took the semi truck and went out and got food, and well, first off, I slept in. And then I watched some videos, got up and hung out. And then later I went and got some food. And I came back, and as soon as I ate food again, I'm like out like a lamp, just went to sleep. So I slept for a big part of the end of the day. Probably like from like 4 until about an hour ago. So, so 2.5, 3 hours of sleeping. So tomorrow I'm going to get more done. I got to go get my car fixed, and then I'm going to go visit my aunties and go do that stuff. But also, yeah, pick up my mail because I've got the mail in there for my postal pension. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just hanging out, just enjoying my time to sleep. Usually my day is packed full because I have to usually get up early and head off in the truck with a trailer and a load on and keep my schedule for my trip. So usually I'm on the road doing what you're supposed to be doing in trucking, keeping track of things and getting the loads to where they need to get to go on time. So usually I'm busy during the day, and I can still talk on the phone because I've got my Apple earbuds, and I just throw those in, and I can blab on the phone hands-free. But usually I'm busy. Usually I'm busy. I don't have time to go look up stuff. I can't go do things. I can only think, and I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's everybody that does this, but I'll have like the greatest idea in my head, and I'll be driving down the road, and I'll be like, just remember this idea when you stop, right? And then when I stop, I knew that I had a good idea, but I can't remember it. And it's just like, you want to smack yourself for not remembering exactly what you were thinking. It's almost like you have to, well, this is what helps me sometimes. Sometimes I have to get out and check the seal number all the way in the back, right? To put into the paperwork. So instead of having to make 3 trips back there because you forgot it, I just I'll say that I'll get the seal number down. Usually it's like a 6 or 7 digit number, and I'll get the seal number, and I'll say it over and over and over again like 20 times just to get it down. And then when I get up in the truck, I'll write it down on a piece of paper so I don't forget it. I'll do that because otherwise, and I'm not, I don't think I'm in Alzheimer's or anything, but sometimes you just forget stuff. You're dealing with numbers all day, and when you fill out your paperwork on the computer, it's not really paperwork, but when you fill out the application process that you go through on the computer or on the tablet, you have to remember a bunch of numbers. You have to have written them down because they give you numbers for weights and pieces and pickup numbers and purchase order numbers, all these crazy numbers, seal numbers. Sometimes, like, if I'm going to go weigh the truck or the trailer and the truck in Arizona. Arizona requires you to have the trailer license plate. And I'm like, why? I have no idea. But anyway, because you have a number for the trailer. There's a number that's on the side of the trailer that's, this trailer is 237581 or whatever. And you have a trailer number. Why would you need the license plate to? I don't know, but whatever. So that's in Arizona. I haven't run into any other states that require that when you go through the Catskills. But in Arizona, I went through the scale a while back, and I had gone through I guess it just passed, some law just passed. And they wouldn't, I usually do it on an app. There's a Catscale app on your phone. And I usually do it through that, and it kept not going through. And I'm like, what the hell? So if you want to do it manually without the app, there's a push call button on right next to the scale right there. So I push the call button. I'm like, why isn't this taking? What's the issue? Oh, you got to put in your trailer license number, plate number. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, whatever. Okay. So I pulled out of there, got the plate number down, drove around, drove back in through the scale and put it in there, and it went right through. So just stuff like that. So I remember seal numbers usually and stuff like that by just repeating it over and over and over in my head, because really it's like discardable information. That information, as soon as I write it down, poof, it goes right out of my head, because it's useless. And except to do paperwork, I'm not going to retain that information down the road. And my brain is very efficient at that, getting rid of stupid information that I think is stupid. Well, it's not stupid at the time, but after its use has passed by, it is worthless information for me. So my brain just tosses it right out. And in the process, sometimes my brain tosses out stuff that I think is important, but I just didn't put enough emphasis on it to make an imprint in my gray matter for some reason. I don't know why, but it happens like that. But anyway, so without me rambling on more, I was just letting everybody know that I'm still here in Phoenix. It is Sunday night. Tomorrow I'll make an update on how far I got with all my stuff, get my car fixed and all that. But I usually don't like making videos like this at night because I have to use artificial light. I don't like using artificial light. I like the sunlight coming in through the windows. But I woke up too late. The sun's already going down. It's starting to go down faster. So I had to use the artificial light. It just happens that way sometimes. What else was I going to talk about? So somebody was talking to me. I was talking to a friend, and he was asking me, hey, he's single, and he's living his life, doing his thing, working his job, and he's lonely. He was telling me he's lonely, and I'm like, well, go find a girlfriend or something. He rents a house, and whatever. He's lonely. I'm like, well, go find a girlfriend. He goes, well, it's not that easy, and blah blah blah. I'm like, if you don't get out and go find somebody, you're going to be lonely. That's the way it is. So you got to get out and do something. So he was asking me, well, you drive a truck all the time, aren't you? Don't you ever get lonely? And I said, not really. I mean, I'm one of those people, especially when I have a mission in my mind, that I don't need the distraction. Like, when I got divorced, I'm not going to say she was a horrible person, but she wasn't complimentary to my way of doing things, or my disposition, my proclivities. She wasn't complimentary to all that. And you make stupid decisions when you're younger. And I just made a stupid decision by marrying her. But anyway, I don't bust on her about that. It's just that I was very happy when we got divorced, because then I didn't have to worry about her. I didn't have to worry about her disapproval, or her wanting something else, or wanting me to do something else. I didn't have to worry about any of that anymore. And, do I need female companionship once in a while? Absolutely. But I'm willing to wait for that until I get my mission accomplished. I don't need that right now. I just don't. Some people can't stand it. Some people cannot stand to be alone. I can stand being alone. As long as I get a phone call every once in a while, I'll call people, much to their, chagrin, I'm sure, because because I could talk your ear off. If you know me personally, you know that I can talk your ear off. I'll talk forever. But I've learned to taper that off, of course. I don't want to annoy people. That's annoying. That's annoying to be annoyed. I know how it is to be annoyed by people. I don't want to be that guy. So I'll taper it off. But it's always good to talk to somebody once in a while. And I'll take time in between getting a hold of somebody so it doesn't seem like I'm bothering them all the time or being needy. I'm not needy. Not at all. So, the whole thought of being lonely is just, I think it's all in your brain. Now, would I want to live out in the woods in Alaska somewhere without any human contact? Absolutely not. I love human contact. I really do. And not just with a female, but I'm just talking to people, period. I like, I'm a social guy. So for me, loneliness is just a temporary thing. It's not, and I don't think of it in a negative way, because I know it's just temporary. I think people that are truly lonely are people that don't know how to interact. They find it hard to interact with other people. They find it hard in a crowd of people. They find it hard to just chat up anybody, only people that they know, pretty well. They find it hard to chat up strangers. Whereas I have no problem with that at all. And anybody who knows me knows that I have zero problem with chatting up anybody. And sometimes that's caused me, that's not been a good thing. And I don't mean it's been a bad thing, but it's just, sometimes it's not the proper thing at the time sometimes. And I get that. I've improved that stuff, trust me. I was worse when I was younger. But, like stuff like, if I wanted to know something, I'd ask the question. Not an inappropriate question, of course. But, if I wanted to know something, I would ask. And most people would not do that. Most people would not want to interrupt somebody to ask them a question. But sometimes you have to. Just the way it is. So you got to get used to that. But being a social person, period, you would think that I'd be lonely without a constant social interaction. But I'm not. I'm really not. I know that stuff is coming. I know that I'm going to have more free time when I'm not truck driving anymore, especially when I go overseas. And on top of that, I'm going to want to learn some of the language where I'm going. Even if the people speak English or speak some English, I still want to learn some of the language, the local language. So that stuff is what's fun to me. But I don't get lonely. The truck, in fact, I used to train drivers in the truck a year ago. And I trained people for a whole year. And I'm so much happier without somebody in my truck. It's just like, I like the privacy. I really do. Having somebody in your truck is like, having a roommate in a 50, not even 50 square feet in here. It's like 20 square feet in here. It's small as hell in here. So, living with somebody in a truck, and for a whole year I had somebody in my truck, different people all the time, which thank God that was that way. 3 weeks they would only be with me for 3 weeks at a time. But I was happy when that was over. When I moved to a different company, I moved to Crete here from the lease operator that I worked for, who we had to train people with, and I'm much happier now being a solo driver without anybody else in my truck. Now, would it be cool to have somebody in here that was cool, that was wanted to chat all the time and was great. I mean, like, there's a lot of team driving going on now, like a man, like two guys or two women or a guy and a girl. There's a lot of team driving going on where the truck keeps rolling all the time, but you really don't get to talk a whole lot, and you're constantly driving all the time, and it's too much pressure, so it's not that fun. Now the one I've seen independent operators who own trucks that have their wives with them, where now only the man drives, and they stop at night and they have a nice sleeper in the back where a bigger sleeper than these, and they sleep in the same bed. They have bathroom or kitchen and all that stuff back there, that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool, but I don't need anybody in the truck. And this is a temporary gig anyway. This is only going to last until next year sometime, and so I'm not going to be lonely. I am. When you're on a mission, you're not lonely. When you're on a mission, you're like, I'm pretty focused on this mission, and I'm doing pretty good. One thing that I have a problem with sometimes is multitasking, but I don't have a problem with multitasking small stuff. It's the big stuff. It's like, because when I focus on something, I like to focus on that. Laser focus on one thing. Because laser focusing on two different things is not really laser focusing. It's kind of like shuffling. It's kind of like juggling, and I'm not good at that. I'm better at focusing on one thing and conquering it, and then moving on to the next thing. Now there are ways that you can do things that don't, like if you have two different goals. Like say one of my goals is saving money, the other is losing weight. Now, I don't have to eat like a pig and save money. No, I can eat less and not be necessarily dedicated to losing weight as far as like what I would be if I was out of this truck. Out of this truck, I'm going to be going to a gym, and I'm going to be focused on that solely. Okay. The stuff, my big thing right now is to get out of the truck. Is to get out of the matrix, to escape the matrix. So saving the money is the key to that. So I'm focused on that, and I'm doing well at that. As soon as that's over with next year, then I can start focusing on other things like improving my channel, losing weight, focusing on that. That'll be my new job. Is YouTube is going to be my new job pretty much. Just showing everybody else what life is like in a different country and how you can escape the matrix and do things as well. That's kind of like, that's my thing. And I think it's going to be a lot better that way, and I won't be lonely then. And I'm not lonely now, really, especially when I'm focused. So I think a lot of people who are lonely are not focused on their life. They're just kind of waffling through life. They're just kind of floating through without a purpose. I think this is my theory. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, because you can't paint a brush on everything. But I think in general, I think that if you're focused on a mission, you're focused on a purpose, you don't have time for superfluous, feelings. You just don't. You don't have time for that stuff. You're focused on getting this done. And some people I think are able to do it, and some people aren't able to do that. Some people are look, squirrel. They can't keep their eyes focused on one thing, and they can't keep their mind focused on one thing, and they get distracted, and then they lament that they can't accomplish a mission because they can't keep focused. So then that becomes a vicious cycle of, I'm lonely, I need somebody else to help me out, and that, I think that self-improvement, which is getting yourself happy. I think that's, when people say that I need to go find myself, or all this silliness, it doesn't mean going out and have sex with a million different people. It means if you want to find yourself, find out what you need to do to make you happy. And if going out and having a bunch of sex and taking a bunch of drugs or drinking a bunch of alcohol is going to make you happy, then you're a sorry person. That's horrible. But if you find a purpose that's going to be a plus for your life rather than a detriment to your life, then you can focus on it. Start focusing on it. Just make sure you get that, you make a goal and then say, I'm going to get this goal done. I have to get this goal done. Don't let it slip. Make a day-by-day goal project to get this end goal done. Then you have no excuses. Then you don't have to worry about superfluous bullcrap. Just get it done. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say today. That if you're lonely, find a purpose. That's all there is to it. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks for watching my videos, and I'll be back with something else tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody who watches, and have a good day. Bye now.